If you grew up around a Midwest farm, chances are you've seen these John Deere machines with your own eyes. Not because of ads, because they worked. They plowed, pulled, planted, and helped feed a whole generation. Today, we're counting down 10 John Deere models that farmers recognize instantly. And with each one, the memories get stronger. By the time we reach number 1, I think a lot of us will smile and go right back to those days. So let's start the list. Number 10, the John Deere 60. From a distance, you can spot it as pure, post-war John Deere. That long hood, that solid, balanced stance, and a look that says, built to work, not to show off. The 60 never begged for attention. It just sat there like an old hired hand, quiet, steady, and ready when you were. And for a lot of folks, the memory starts with sound. The Deere 60 carries that classic two-cylinder rhythm. Slow, even familiar, like the heartbeat of a season. Under the hood is a 321 cubic inch, 5.3-liter, two-cylinder, liquid-cooled John Deere engine. Rated speed is about 975 revolutions per minute. So it doesn't scream. It talks. It also had real working power for its day. In the Nebraska tractor test, 1952, the gasoline version posted about 40.24 horsepower on the belt and 35.18 horsepower on the drawbar. That's right in the sweet spot for a family farm. One tractor doing the same jobs day after day. That's why the 60 shows up in so many Midwest memories. Not always the biggest, not always the newest, but on small to mid-sized farms. It was the kind you hitched to a wagon, pulled a tool with, and counted on to be enough. And keep going. And the next tractor is even more, see it and remember it, because it showed up everywhere across farm country. Number 9, the John Deere B. If someone says, that's an old Deere, chances are they're picturing a Model B. It has that compact, upright look. That's hard to confuse with anything else. Simple lines, narrow row crop proportions, and a silhouette that shows up in black and white photos, just as clearly as it does in a dusty shed. Part of why folks remember it is how straightforward it was. The Model B was a two-cylinder tractor. Early versions used a 149 cubic inch engine, and later models grew into the 3.1-liter range as Deere updated the tractor over the years. Power wasn't huge by today's standards, but it was honest power. Late Model B tractors were rated around 25 horsepower on the drawbar and roughly 28 horsepower on the belt. And on the later machines, you got a 6-speed transmission, enough to handle the everyday work. That kept a family farm moving. And that's the real reason the B is unforgettable. It wasn't meant for the biggest acres. It was the friend of small and mid-sized farms. The tractor that pulled a wagon, ran a belt pulley, dragged a tool down the lane, and still started again tomorrow. You can almost see it in your mind. Grandpa tinkering in the barn, Dad heading out to the field, and then you, learning to drive, slow and careful, with the clutch and throttle, feeling heavier than you expected. In the Midwest, the Model B became a symbol, simply because it was everywhere. Go to enough farm auctions, and you've seen one, maybe more than one, parked in the lineup like it belonged there. And if the B feels that familiar, the next tractor is bigger, louder in reputation, and even easier to recognize at a glance. Number 8, the John Deere A. Bigger than the Model B, the John Deere A has a shape you can picture, like an old family photo. That long hood, that full-bodied stance, and that classic Deere posture. Strong, without trying to look fancy. For a lot of Midwest families, the A was the tractor that lived near the shed corner, year after year. Always ready, when a wagon needed moved, or a field needed worked. And people don't just remember it by the green paint. They remember it by the rhythm. The Model A carried that two-cylinder beat. Slow, steady, comforting. Early versions used a 309 cubic inch, that's 5.1-liter, two-cylinder engine, rated around 975 revolutions per minute. It's the kind of low-speed working sound that makes you picture light smoke, warm oil, and a quiet yard before sunrise. Later on, Deere enlarged the engine to 321 cubic inches and updated the transmission to 6 forward speeds, helping the A keep up as farms changed. The A's long run is part of why everybody knows the name. It wasn't just a tractor. It was an era, right as mechanization reshaped American farming. And because it evolved over time, you'll hear different power memories, depending on the year. Early Nebraska testing showed about 18.7 drawbar horsepower and about 24.7 belt horsepower. Late-styled versions tested higher, around 34.1 drawbar and 38.0 belt horsepower. Either way, the point was the same. Reliable power. That showed up every season. But the Model A still isn't the most head-turning beast of the two-cylinder era, because the next one is the tractor that made folks stop and look. Number 7. The John Deere G. You could recognize the Model G without reading a single badge because of its sheer presence. This wasn't a tractor that blended in. When AG rolled into a field, people looked. It sat big and heavy, built with one priority, pulling power. Deere designed it as a three-plow row crop tractor, and it carried itself like it meant business. Under that long hood was a classic Deere two-cylinder, but on a much larger scale. An all-fuel, liquid-cooled, two-cylinder engine. 412.5 cubic inches, that's 6.8 liters. Rated at about 975 revolutions per minute. That low-speed design is part of why older farmers remember it so clearly. Because it didn't rev. It worked. The sound was slow, deep, and steady. The kind of rhythm you can still hear in your head decades later. And the reputation came from what it could do. The G was often claimed at roughly 36 drawbar horsepower and about 39.8 belt horsepower. But the Nebraska test figures came in around 34.49 on the drawbar and 38.10 on the belt. Serious numbers for its day, and exactly why folks remembered it as a machine that could handle the hard pull. Not every farm owned one, but plenty of people saw a neighbor run one, heard stories at the co-op, or watched a G dig in and keep moving when the job got tough. That's how it became more than a tractor. It became a symbol of an era. And if the G was about raw strength, the next model is often called the final high point of the two-cylinder era. The name Deere fans never stop talking about. Number 6. The John Deere 720 and the 730. One look, and you know you're seeing the final chapter of John Deere's two-cylinder era. The 720 and 730 have that finished, old Deere look. Cleaner lines, a more refined stance, but still the same unmistakable soul. And the 730, especially, felt a little more modern. Details like flat-top fenders and integrated headlights made it look a step newer, without losing its heritage. What people remember most is how they feel. These tractors didn't race. They worked. Slow, steady, and confident. Under the hood, the 720's gas engine is a John Deere. Two-cylinder, 4-valve, liquid-cooled design. 360.5 cubic inches, that's 5.9 liters. Big lungs, low-speed manners. And a rhythm you can recognize with your eyes closed. And the numbers back up the reputation. In Nebraska testing, the 730 put down about 57.33 horsepower on the belt and 52.38 horsepower on the drawbar. Real working power for the late 1950s, right when farms were getting bigger and expecting more from one tractor. That's why, across the Midwest, you still see 720s and 730s kept nice. At auctions, at shows, and on farms where someone says, "Granddad bought that one new," or "That tractor ran the baler for years." They're remembered like an old friend, not because everyone recalls the exact year, but because the name and the sound never left. And from here on, we move into models where you only have to say the number, and every farmer nods immediately. The next one is exactly that kind of name. Number 5. The John Deere 4020. For a lot of American farmers, you don't even have to explain the name. You just say 4020 and heads nod. The 4020 became the yardstick of the new generation era, built at a time when farms were growing, and one tractor had to do more than one job every single day. One reason it's recognized instantly is the balance. The 4020 looks just right in photos and in the field, The hood, the operator platform, the rear end, all in proportion, and Deere offered it with practical choices farmers cared about. Most were ordered with the synchro range transmission, with power shift available, and the rear PTO setup fit real work. An independent PTO, with 540 and 1,000 revolutions per minute options on many tractors. But what locked the 4020 into memory is that it worked like a true all-rounder. Most folks think of the 6-cylinder diesel, the 404 cubic inch, 6.6-liter John Deere diesel, rated at about 2,200 revolutions per minute, built to pull steady and stay cool doing it. In the Nebraska test for the 4020 diesel, it measured about 84 horsepower on the drawbar and about 91 PTO horsepower, numbers that made it strong enough for heavy field jobs, yet still nimble for chores and equipment work. And it wasn't rare. Deere built over 184,000 of them, which is why you still see 4020s at auctions, in sheds, and sometimes still earning their keep. And if the 4020 is the big legend, the next one is the just right legend, the Deere that even more families actually owned. Number 4, the John Deere 3020. For a lot of Midwest families, the 3020 feels familiar, like a relative. People don't always say the full name. They just point and say, that's the Deere from back then. It was big enough for real field work, but still compact enough for a family farm. The kind of tractor you could turn around in tight yards and still trust on a long day. And it's easy to recognize, too, because it speaks the same new generation language as the 4020. Clean hood lines, a confident row crop stance, and that right-sized look, that just fits. Deere also offered it with practical choices. Synchro range was the standard, with 8 forward and 2 reverse. And for folks who wanted easier shifting under load, power shift was available. But the part older farmers remember most is simple. It was a tractor you learned on. You learned to feather the clutch. You learned to listen to the engine. You learned to fix small things before they became big things. And under the hood, the 3020 came with multiple engine options, including a 4.4-liter 4-cylinder diesel, plus gasoline and LP variants. Deere rated the model around 71 horsepower, enough muscle for serious work, without ever feeling oversized. And the numbers were real, not just talk. In the Nebraska tractor tests, a diesel synchro range 3020 recorded about 71.26 horsepower at rated engine speed and about 64.32 horsepower at rated PTO speed, the kind of steady power that made it a true do-everything farm tractor. And now, we step into the 1970s, into the Deeres you can't miss in an auction lot. The next one is a true landmark from that era. Number 3, the John Deere 4430. You can spot a 4430 fast, because that 30 series hood and stance have a look. That's squared up, confident, and built for the years when farms were scaling up. It's not fancy. It's practical sheet metal, a strong row crop profile, and that working tractor posture you remember from auction lots and field edges. Then there's the reason farmers respected it. It was made to do core jobs, not just pose for photos. Tillage, planting, pulling equipment, running grain carts. This is the tractor many farms leaned on when the day was long and the weather window was short. Deere offered it with serious choices, like quad range or power shift. And you could even get the optional sound guard body and cab, which helped define what a modern cab tractor felt like. Back in the 1970s, under the hood sat a proven heart, a 6.6-liter, 404 cubic inch, turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel, rated around 2,200 revolutions per minute. Steady power, built to pull, without drama. And the numbers were the kind farmers trust. The 4430 is commonly listed at 125 PTO horsepower, and in official testing, it delivered about 125.88 PTO horsepower and roughly 104.99 drawbar horsepower. Real performance, and a big reason so many are still around today. That combination, recognizable shape, daily usefulness, and sheer popularity, is why the 4430 became a tractor everybody knows. But the next one, is the name many folks say without hesitation. That's the real John Deere of the late 70s and early 80s. Number 2. The John Deere 4440. If you bring up 4440 at a small-town cafe, somebody will have a story. Maybe they ran one. Maybe they rented one. Maybe they tried to buy one at auction and got outbid. Or maybe they just remember seeing it out in the field, doing real work year after year. The 4440 became an everyone knows it Deere because it didn't live in brochures. It lived on farms. You can recognize it instantly. By the 40 series look, the stance is confident. The hood lines feel more modern than the 30 series. And the cab presence is unmistakable, especially with Deere's Soundguard cab, which helped define what a comfortable, serious working tractor felt like in that era. It looks like the late 70s and early 80s. Even if you don't know the exact year, then there's what's under the hood. A John Deere 7.6-liter, 466 cubic inch, turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel. A big, steady engine, built to pull without drama. And the performance wasn't just talk. In testing, it delivered about 130.58 PTO horsepower and about 112.69 drawbar horsepower. Numbers that explain why the 4440 could handle long days, heavy loads, and tight weather windows. That's the lasting memory. A tractor that showed up in every season. Hot, cold, wet, dusty, and kept standing. The 4440 isn't only a famous model. It's a picture of American farming in that time. And if the 4440 makes everyone nod, the number 1 Deere is even more personal. Many folks will say, I can see exactly where that tractor used to sit in our yard. Number 1. The John Deere 4450. One glance is all it takes. The 4450 has that unmistakable 1980s Deere look. A strong stance, clean hood lines, and a cab silhouette you recognize, even without reading the decal. It doesn't feel like a classic trying to be famous. It feels like the tractor that showed up when the work had to get done. What made it special is how it felt like an upgrade, without losing the toughness older farmers respect. Under the hood is the kind of heart Deere was known for. A 7.6-liter, 466 cubic inch, turbocharged 6-cylinder John Deere diesel, built for steady pulling and long days. And the performance was real. In Nebraska testing, it delivered about 140.43 PTO horsepower and around 117.46 drawbar horsepower. Power you could put to the ground, not just talk about. That's why the 4450 sits in so many memories. Some folks remember it because they owned one, paid for it, maintained it, and trusted it with the most important jobs. Others remember it because they wanted one, because the 4450 represented a farm doing well, a step forward, a tractor you could be proud to park in the yard. And here's the interesting part. Everyone has their own number 1. So what's yours? Which John Deere model do you recognize instantly? And what memory comes with it? These 10 John Deere machines are more than steel and model numbers. For a lot of us, they're the sound of an early morning startup, tire tracks cutting across a field, the smell of warm oil in the barn, and memories from a time when farming felt simpler, yet solid and dependable. Now it's your turn. Which model on this list brings back the strongest memory, and why? Did you ever run one? Or did your family have one? Sitting right there in the yard? Leave a comment. I read every story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.